experience this exquisite train wreck of a game, which shared only minor themes and almost none of the exciting sections promised by the original trailer. It even managed to make the section where you were handed the key to a monster truck boring by insisting you stop to fill it up with fuel every 30 seconds. But hey, at least you could pick up feces.
What the hell?
15 years well spent, guys.
I'm not starting something way different from that to now, but this is one of the coolest I've ever seen.
We might think of Xbox and first-person shooter series Halo as being as inseparable as Master Chief and his power armor, which, to the best of my knowledge, he wears for bed. But you can prostitute for pajamas. It's really. The first ever trailer for what would become the first Halo game, however, gives us a glimpse of what could have been. A surreal Halo universe where Halo is a first-person shooter that launched on Mac computers. Weird, I know. Weirder than Master Chief in pretty pajamas. It's adorable, but weird, right? Weird. No. I mean... No, it's weird. It's weird.
This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. The first time they've ever seen it.
The reveal trailer was unveiled 18 years ago at the Mac Games Stage in 1999, back when the late great Steve Jobs brought developer Bungie on stage and Comic Sans was considered an acceptable font. Look at the state of that.
Halo is the first game you've ever seen for the first time. Halo.
In the very early phase of development, when Halo was announced for Macs and PCs, the creators of Halo envisioned an ambitious third-person game in which two factions of humans and not humans are competing in a single spring world. This proto-Halo promised a huge online play, and at the time the trailer blew everyone away with its advanced graphics. Much of the trailer depicted a kind of sci-fi car chase which ends with one Spartan picking up an elite while another steals his ride. The idea of Halo 1 being a third-person shooter is, though, this 18-year-old trailer did establish what would become Halo's familiar visual style and iconic score. However, the following year, Microsoft bought Bungie, and the year after that, in 2001, the game launched as Halo Combat Evolved.
I am born of Nyx, child of the stars. Look skyward and receive the gifts of the gods.
No, I need to add more enchantments. That's one of my problems. This deck. Like, I have a lot of problems with this deck. I'm quite aware. There are a lot of holes in this deck right now.
You know Team Fortress 2, it's the game that looks like a Pixar movie, only everyone's trying to kill each other. And they're at Valve's all-conquering and now free-to-play shooter has evolved
The stars will light our way.
Back in 2007, they've added game modes, a fleshed-out backstory, and so many hats. But it hasn't changed as much as it did between the first trailer and the eventual release. The first concept for TF2, back when it was Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms, was a more gritty, realistic war setting. It had character models that looked like actual soldiers, proper hierarchy of commanded matches, and parachute drops over enemy territory. Which all sounds a bit too much like having an actual job in the action. What was their boot polishing minigame too? There were some neat ideas in there, including cooperative mounted guns where one player fed the head while the other. Still, a gritty modern war setting with all the requisite seriousness seems completely at odds with a game about dashing into a fortress disguised as an enemy pyro and stabbing someone in the back in order to help steal a flag. Our verdict? Too much paper. I'm not happy.
So, there I am. King of all the land.
Conquered Bad Fur Day is an N64 platformer from Banjo Kazooie developer Rare, and it's remembered for being squarier than a Gordon Ramsay cameo in Deadwood. But that wasn't always the case. When Conker's first video game outing was initially announced in 1997, it was under the title Conker's Quest, which was later changed to 12 Tales Conker 64, and was a much cutesier adventure starring an adorable Conker who wore lots of little adorable stuff. Oh my god! At this point, the game was doing action and fashion, but still aimed at family audiences. And look, it's a cute girl on a unicycle. That didn't go down super well with the game's press at the time, who felt that 12 Tales Conker 64 didn't do enough to differentiate itself from Banjo-Kazooie, and that the family-friendly nature of the game was holding it back. It was at this point that Rare went back to the drawing board and decided that people hated cute squirrels so much, they were going to create the least cute squirrel that had ever existed.
The patterned
That's how we got
future
the Conker
appears
Real Man
before
today,
me.
who spends much of his time drunk.
I don't feel so good now. I just go and I'll probably see you sometime next week.
I think that is like the Great 92.
I am
The great thing, my people.
I'm going to
Tell my shit now.
you.
That's so.
Yeah.
And making my fart himself to death. Oh! Needless to say, that was
It was right before I was to take on my duties to protect all the persons when she was abducted. That's the ultimate reason I'm in this lonely, rural part of Europe.
now considered an alternative. Resident Evil 4 went through more revisions during its development than the T-Virus. I believe in you, Umbrella. Gonna get that formula right one day. Ooh, swing and a miss. After Resident Evil 3 in 1998, we found different with the series, but loads of different ideas were considered for Resident Evil 4. One popular early design, Redgrave and his twin brother Virgil. These twins are the Umbrella's T-Virus and were the sons of Oslo and Spencer, one of the founders of Umbrella.
Devil May Cry.
Of them, only one survived.
This project, headed by Bayonetta director Hideki Kamiya, was intended to be a much more cool and Resident Evil, which clashed with Capcom's ideas of Resident Evil as a survival horror franchise. Eventually, it was decided to make the project a whole other new game, so the work done up to that point was spun off into a little game we was Devil May Cry.
Everyone lost a mother and a brother to evil 20 years ago. The son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta.
The name Spencer was changed to Sparta, they added a bunch of demons, and Tony became Dante. Because honestly, can you imagine a stylish action game with a main character called Tony? With that out of the way, work began on versions of Resident Evil 4 that revolved around Leon Kennedy searching for the source of the progenitor virus. The earliest version, depicted in this first proper trailer for Resident Evil 4, aka Biohazard 4, was set in a castle and later an airship, included sections where Leon would become possessed. There was also to be a subplot starring a female survivor and her dog, so this idea was later spun off into the survival horror game Haunting Ground. Though we only got a glimpse of that version of Resident Evil 4, we saw a lot more of the next version of the game in the second trailer, which featured a lot more ghostly supernatural horror, like we prevent Spearman armor, and this still looking dear home. To be honest, I'd be annoyed if someone turned me into a wall decoration. From what we can tell, these spooky elements sprung from Leon having hallucinations after being infected with a virus, which allowed for much more traditional horror tropes. These included being attacked by knife-wielding dolls, and a new antagonist known as Hookman. This version of the game still One element was consistent across all versions of the game, so we have to assume that it must be the most vital part of Resident Evil 4, and that part was Leon's jacket. Change whatever you want, that thing is staying.
Gravity is fighting me right now. I'm losing the gravity. Fallout.
Back in 2010, 2K Games revealed an intriguing concept for its established XCOM franchise.
Oh,
Instead of a
XCOM.
turn-based strategy game like the rest of the series, though, it was a first-person horror shooter designed by the team behind Bioshock 2 and set in the 1950s. It
That
pitted the newly
sounds
formed XCOM
interesting.
against a breed of evil aliens that travelled in weird geometric craft, could possess hard-working American folks, and manifested as icky black youth.
That doesn't seem like
From a
XCOM though.
dispassionate, godlike perspective, you were down on the ground in first-person combat alongside two squadrons. If you were matched at 50 suit and fedora, all dirty.
I mean, that sounds like a cool game. It just doesn't sound like XCOM.
Strategy game in as much as
Which
strategy
I could stream XCOM. I own a bunch of games on Steam. Like, I have my Steam account back. But for some reason, I can't download South Park. I don't know what's up with that.
Why did you stop me? What the hell were you thinking?
I was thinking that I just saved your life.
You ambushed a 4-star general. How do you expect me to react?
But very few people bought it, obviously. Probably because of all the strategy stuff. In a final twist of the tale, though, by cosmic coincidence, we did eventually get a first-person game in which you face bizarre shape-shifting monsters made of animated black goo. It's just, it was set in space. And it wasn't made by 2K. And it's called Prey.
It was just a job. He just gave me a picture and told me to provide a bomb. It's all it was, a dump job. They isn't good enough. Who are you working for?
Police Self-Conviction is the sixth game in the long-running series about Sam Fisher, a man so stealthy he could be standing behind you right now and you wouldn't even know. Ha-ha! Why, I knew he wasn't Sam. But when Splinter Cell Conviction was first announced as an event held by publisher Weedtone in 2007, it looked very different to the game we finally got in 2010. For a start, Sam looked a bit like he'd spent the years since Splinter Cell Double Agent sleeping on a park bench. And the gameplay Ubisoft showed off made it look more like a sequel to Final Fight than a stealth game, with Sam running around a park battering people with
Persevere.
other people. In its own way, Sam also appears to have developed a deep and abiding hatred of hot dog cars. To be fair, some of this Bourne-style approach
They failed
Sam
you,
uses everything including resistance against his enemies.
My sand will protect you.
But the final version of Protection also includes a bunch of new stealth gameplay, including
That's cool. Yay. I really needed that. I really needed a win like that. It's just, I'm literally like, one for 10, 1 for 9 today.
For a brand of rugged outdoors
Like,
wear.
this afternoon since I've been switched accounts. I've not been doing the best. I mean, I've gotten 13 total wins, but wow, I have way more losses. I have way more losses. I need a bigger room. I need to find main money.
The point of the demo is to give you a short representation of samples that can be defeated by the full game. It's a bit like when I do this much of a video, you'll wait until you've posted 40 Great British pounds to the outside Xbox office before I do the rest of it. Doesn't work, is it? Sometimes, however, video game demos are nothing like what you get in the finished game. From the characters
You know
to the
what?
players to the story of the actual game.
I'll gamble. I'll gamble.
Just consider these
Oh,
crazy demo
I'll go
results
first,
representing
yeah.
what we ended up having on proper.
I can fix anything.
I don't know. Brutal Legend had just too much going on. It's a good game. It just has too much going on. Too many different styles of gameplay.
What it also is, and the fact that you can completely unaware of it from only open game demo, is a real-time strategy game.
Yes.
Starting at the very opening of the game, Brutal Legend's demo
I own it somewhere.
cutscene in which Eddie is transported into the realm of heavy metal, then gives you a massive battle. And a magic storm is deployed to stop a hot rod from the ground. The demo leaves you with the impression of a heavy metal god of war, and to be fair, I can see why they led with that, because that sounds awesome!
Yes, it does. And if it had been nothing but that, plus the vehicle stuff.
The big battles all take the form of real-time strategy skirmishes, in which you select units, boost them with various buffs, and send them against your foe's armies of S&M demons and moody gods. You gotta earn more fans. It's still enjoyable, but really, careful and meticulous strategic planning is the least effective.
Yeah.
That's why there isn't a black metal theme from Microsoft Excel. And believe me, that is not for want of trying. You try and talk to Microsoft. By now we all know what Final Fantasy 15 was about. 4 bros, road tripping around, eating toast.
Nah, I kind of feel like I should like Final Fantasy 15 because it's so similar to 10-2.
Before Final Fantasy 15 came out, however, you'd have been forgiven for thinking that it was about a small child who gets hit with some sort of squeaky road and runs around his parents' house hitting monsters with a squeaky toy hammer. And the reason you would have been forgiven for thinking that is because that's exactly what you do in the game's Platinum demo. The so-called Platinum demo takes place in the dreams of hero Noctis, and sees him as a young boy who wakes up with a weird fox using a smartphone, then starts texting him about murdering things. You and your bizarre fox friends then sprint around in this giant house, battering nightmare creatures and occasionally tootling around in a tiny car. Even reference the post. You gotta lead with the post, guys, or else you're never gonna sell any copies.
I've come up with a new recipe. Can't wait to try it.
I need money. I need an income. I need a job. I wish. Oh, that's something I need to do. I need to put my Cashapp name. Yeah. I have a link code to give. You sign up, you get 5. I get 5. You gotta link a debit card.
The demo included a good chunk of the game's anchor chapter, which, if you play Metal Gear Solid 2, you will remember as the chapter in which you play as Solid Snake. It is a lot like Metal Gear Solid 1, only a lot better looking and cooler. I can't wait to play a whole new game of this as my favourite game character, Solid Snake. But suddenly, Kojima, yes, I do also remember if you played Metal Gear Solid 2, and you are suddenly in control of Raiden, a character so initially hated after his appearance in this game that the series openly mocked him for Snake Eater. Then had all of him from the Jordan.
Nice try, kid. Nice try.
Anyone expecting another solid Snake adventure would have been sorely disappointed. Still, we are directing and we're back to using all Snake variants as the protagonists in the main series.
Yeah, Raiden gets a bit of respect in Revengeance. And I really need to replay that game because I power-ups.
Not only is the Stanley Parable not a game about continuously pressing the number 8, I can barely see the big value of anywhere in the main game.
The Stanley Parable is one of the most postmodern, meta-jokey games in existence. So it stands to reason that the game's demo wouldn't just be a straightforward chunk of the game to tempt you into buying the full thing. Wait, let me guess, it's a scratch and sniff card of smells inspired by the game. Oh, it's only playable on the Atari Lynx. No, it's an ARG of photos of the game which are hidden around your hometown beneath traffic cones. No, in fact, the Stanley Parable's demo is a meta-commentary on video game demos.
I wonder if I'll get copyright struck for watching YouTube while I play this. It's like, I'm for real curious.
94% of all people
Fudge.
6% aren't, right? Good. Throughout the course of the demo, the narrator does a pretty thorough job of deconstructing video game demos in general, laying bare all of the psychological techniques they use to try and snare potential customers, from emotion and discovery to hollow compliments designed
It's like they're all indestructible.
You might only be really noticed that though, because I am great at this demo.
I'm pretty sure I'm dead.
Please step into a dance perimeter. Please perform a dance.
Here we go! Sonic Unleashed is considered to be the low point of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, which is saying something. That said, before it came out, all the world in Sonic Unleashed was good, thanks in part to a demo in which Sonic sped his way through a sun-drenched Mediterranean town, running, looping, bouncing off springs and enemies, and seamlessly switching between fluid TV with a fluid. The problem was, the demo only told half the story, because Sonic Unleashed was split into both daytime and nighttime sections. The daytime sections were the sunny, fun, fast platforming sequences as sampled in the demo, while the nighttime sections, for some reason, turned Sonic into a huge beast-like monster with increased strength and stretchy arms called a werehog. But if he's a hedgehog, shouldn't his beast form be something else? Shouldn't a werehog be when a human turns into a hedgehog during a full moon? Oh, questions about the menu. Right, I'll just have a double pepperoni. These werehog sections of Sonic Unleashed were slow, dark, brawling sequences, in which Sonic would lumber around in werehog form, beating up PM lizards with his weird Stretch Armstrong arms. It's not what comes to mind when you think of Sonic the fun, high-speed hedgehog, which is probably why they kept it out of the game's demo. A better idea would have been to keep it out of the finished game as well, but I'm sure you know what you're doing.
I swear, I hope I don't lose again. I want to get lose one win. It's like...
Resident Evil 7 was a departure for the survival horror series.
It's like I only get, this feels like I only get my wins when I'm not recording. I mean, I get plenty of wins when I'm live, but it's like when I'm live, I'm just on Twitch. So when I record it, I can put this wherever. I can put it on YouTube.
Evil 7, in which you played as both an unnamed protagonist and via a VHS tape, Teejay, a camera operator for a paranormal investigation computer who breaks into the
I'm trying to pay attention, move a little quicker.
to do a bit of location tracking and panicky dying. Is representative of the real game, and the demo contains part of the house you visit in the game. The overall vibe of the demo is a lot more similar to games like PT and Outlast, with these terrible characters being mostly defensive. Also, he generated today less supernatural horror, such as the ghosts that appear throughout the house, and inscrutable puzzles, such as using a dummy finger to solve murders. Resident Evil 7 is excellent, but it is also, once it gets going, an action-play game, using shotguns, chainsaws, machine guns, and even grenade launchers to distract hordes of monsters and certain bosses. That's very much not the vibe you got from that demo, which is a shame because a lot of characters there would have loved this demo.
What happened to all my pillows?
In Always Sometimes Monsters, you play as a hapless loser who has no job, no money, and has just been invited to the wedding of the love of their life, who is marrying someone else. You know, that's what video games. It's a game full of tough choices, moral dilemmas, and heartbreaking decisions, as you try to keep your head above water, beset by money problems, personal problems, and endless jerks. The demo for Always Sometimes Monsters, however, has you play as a games journalist who goes to the launch event for Always Sometimes Monsters. As such, you walk around the demo room eating tiny hamburgers and shooting to people. You can play the game here if you like, or if you'd rather, you can leave after barely touching it. I would like to clarify that this is not anyone here conducts themselves in a press event. You always stay at least until all the tiny hamburgers are gone. Once you've left the launch event, you head to your office to write a review of the game based on your minimal time in it. But I mean, this is only a virtual review, it's not like the developers will ever see it. Oh man, now I feel bad. Look, in my defense, there was not a single monster in that demo. Actually, never monsters. I wish I hadn't already said this.
Alright, well, you can consider that the representative demo on Xbox there to prime you to get more out of Xbox. So why not go invest in the full game, by which I mean playlist, by clicking up here, or if you'd like something else, which, you know, just take our word for it, is also excellent.
Alright, you just returned my creature.
Playlist of videos down here. There's no demo, but they are very good.
Ending is one that exactly reproduces the end of the CFS system only cliffhanger that happens on this day fall off the cliff. Wait, no, I'm just hearing it's not that at all. It's actually an unresolved ending that hopes to lure people back by promising that we'll find out what happens next. Sometimes, however, that promise is a big fat lie, and you never find out what happens next because there is no sequel, the sequel got cancelled, or the sequel didn't end. Just remember, all these times, video games do precisely that, and watch out ahead for seriously unresolved plot points, as well as spoilers for the following.
Okay, well, I think I'm sick of Adventure. I'm getting bored with the Adventure deck, finally.
Bond 007 Bloodstones in 2010 had all the
So I think I'm gonna wrap this up with something a bit more
glamorous Bond girl, Jothone, a bioweapon
calming.
Daniel Craig's face. Daniel Craig's ears, more fast cars, it's got a lot. The game takes place a few years after the events of actual Bond film, Quantum of Solace, but tells an original story in which a Russian oligarch has been manufacturing biological weapons and is the bad guy. Or is he? I mean, yes, he very much is, but he's not the only bad guy, or the most important bad guy, as we discover right at the very end of the game, when Bond is betrayed by the glamorous Bond girl because of course he is.
I appreciate your concern, but I don't think MI6 is going to be a problem anymore.
After a Monaco set car chase in which he grinds the rear quarter panels, or lots of Joss Stones Koenigsegg car, informs me as a kind of car, Bond gets the British singer-songwriter behind Right to Be Wrong and Super Duper Love at gunpoint and extracts the truth, which is that all along she has been working for a previously unknown and powerful mystery bad guy.
Who? Who is it?
It won't make a difference.
I want a name.
He's bigger than you. Bigger than us.
This mystery bad guy is more bad and more mystery than anyone Bond has ever faced. And here's his unmanned drone.
There is no escape.
Go, down, get down!
The problem with the plot twist that happens a few seconds before the end of the game is that it burdens the follow-up game with making good on that narrative promise. But the credits do promise that James Bond will return, so I guess meet back here in a couple of years, guys, and then we'll learn the secret of the big bad guy who's bigger than James Bond, MI6 and everything. No? Or not? I mean, the studio behind the game, Bizarre Creations, has stepped down, so the European is here on Bloodstone ever since, so sorry about it, Bond.
Get out in the door. Don't put me out.
PT.
You only need me. Are you sure you only need me?
PT is less of a video game and more a playable visualization of my worst fears, which include, but are not limited to, swarms of insects, bizarre murders, terrifying ghost women, and refrigerators. Ah! Initially shrouded in mystery, PT eventually revealed itself to be a playable teaser for the upcoming Silent Hill, a new game in the Silent Hill horror franchise directed by Hideo Kojima, with input from famed movie director Guillermo del Toro, Walking Dead actor Norman Reedus, and horror manga legend Junji Ito. If they really wanted to complete the set of people who've given me nightmares, they would have announced that also on the development team were my driving test examiner and the melting Nazi from Raiders of the Lost Ark. You can't have everything. PT did an excellent job of establishing the cheery themes and symbols that Silent Hill can concern itself with, such as guilt, domestic abuse, and is chatty fetuses a theme? That, anyway. It also created an area of mystery around Silent Stories with an ending, which began with an unknown voice talking about their murder at the hands of their father, then talking about coming back and bringing their toys with them.
I will be coming back. My new toys with me.
Closed with a memorable last cutscene which showed Reedus, presumably the character we've just been playing as in the teaser, walking through a deserted town. Brilliant, right? Well, good luck finding out what any of that all means, because thanks to a falling out between Kojima and Konami, the entire Silent Hills project is dead and much after a run-in with Lisa. At least Kojima's next, also intriguing and also mysterious project, Death Stranding, is in the works. I'm sure that will eventually reveal why Norman Reedus is now naked on a beach with a baby, and also why Matt Nicholson's eyes are so weird. And also, we're never going to find out, are we?
I do not know, nor do I care. Wait.
2011 Wii first-person shooter Company 2 had a full-on containing conspiracy theories from Fox Mulder's Secret Diary. But even in a game that features references to ancient astronauts, reptilian rulers of Earth, the Tom Brisket incident, the disappearance of Colonel Percy Fawcett, the Droper Stone, and the Deluge myth, nothing can prepare you for the sheer unhinged brilliance of the game's cliffhanger ending. The final battle sees you going up against both the human and alien forms of antagonist John Adams in a dramatic firefight in a lost city in the centre of a hollow planet Earth. Makes a change from it being flat, I guess. Helicopter's boss is both informed and you're treated to a surprise copy of a sequel that sadly we're never going to see. Abraham Lincoln and George Washington step out of a portal wearing sci-fi armour, the main character does a massive double take, and then the credits roll.
You're here to help. I have so many questions. How are they still alive? Where did they get those nifty destroyer armor suits from? Just how bad does George Washington's wig smell after 250 years? But the biggest question, why didn't more of you buy Conduit 2 so we can find out what happens next? Oh, it's a dreadful game.
I'm wondering where that is.
It's lucky.
I don't think you believe in that sort of thing.
I don't. Not even if you believe me.
2008 was a year of great accomplishments. It gave us the Beijing Olympics, Kung Fu Panda, and a Prince of Persia reboot in which the prince is not actually a prince, but is, in fact, no, look.
Patience is almost.
And you've never heard that good things are worth waiting for?
Good things are good things.
Oh, and the Large Hadron Collider. This new game reimagines Prince of Persia as an action platforming fable in which a ripped adventurer meets a mystical princess and then helps her claim the kingdom of Inky Scourges of Evil with her magical powers of light. He isn't a prince, but his nickname is Prince, because if it's good enough for the man who sang Raspberry Beret, it's good enough for him. We gradually learned that everything went inky and evil because Princess Elika had died before the game began, and her royal dad had cut a deal with the god of darkness, Saruman, to bring her back to life. What's that old saying about doing a deal with the god of darkness? Oh yeah, don't.
Don't.
Anywho, in the finale of the game, Elika has to sacrifice her magical self to save her kingdom and seal Ahriman, the ancient god of darkness, inside the white tree of Gondor.
We did it! Elika, we did it!
Then, because learning from history instead of repeating its mistakes is for chumps without pectoral definition like this, the prince resurrects Elika for a second time with the same shady deal with the same god of darkness. On finding herself brought back from the dead again, Elika revives with all the gratitude of me being waiting up a fan on my day off. And there the game is. From the maelstrom of corruption caused by Prince, and evil god Ahriman on the loose once more.
What is one grain of salt? What is one grain of salt?
So in this cliffhanger ending, the dark forces of corruption have a new stranglehold on the kingdom with a view to engulfing the world, and it looks like nothing can stop them, except for you doing the entire game all over again. The only thing after this downer ending was a DLC epilogue in which Elika and our hero escape the forces of darkness some more in an underground palace, while she has a go at him for, dooming everyone.
What was I supposed to do? Leave you there dead?
After which she runs off in search of someone who won't make a deal with the god of darkness and doom everyone.
Elika! We need to stick together! Elika!
We'll never really know what happened to Elika and Prince after that because that game came out nearly 10 years ago and there's no sign of a sequel. And that's not to mention having Prince of Persia came out and totally ignored the plot of this previous game.
This is my destiny. To save this kingdom.
Reboot? What reboot? There was never a reboot. You're crazy, Prince of Persia fans.
Anyone here can use a knife or a gun. What you're gonna learn is how to use your head.
Let's move.
And you're free to leave.
As anyone who's played Metal Gear Solid 5 will tell you, it's about... Metal Gear Solid 5 is about one man's quest to compile the greatest ever 80s mixtape.
There's a disease that targets people who speak certain languages.
If you speak English, that's bad, because they can kill you.
And there are also zombies caused by a parasite.
So there's a guy who's got a skull inside his face. And funny name, yeah, Rabid Oscar. I had a guy called Rabid Oscar.
The state's got his, private military on an oil rig or something.
So these parasites, and you can teleport
There's walking by 2 days a week. I've seen the picture. The lady who's powered by sun tanning, I think.
Well, whatever it was about, what it definitely wasn't about was ending in a satisfactory way, thanks to the Spearman falling out between Kojima and Konami. One of the biggest plot points revolves around Metal Gear Solid and why Eagle's neck goes to both the Emmerich and one of the greatest threats to peace the world has ever known.
Impossible! It can't be happening!
Naturally, you want to make sure something like that isn't included, so once Snake defeats it in the mission Stancile, he and the Diamond Dogs destroy it completely so it can never fall into the wrong hands. They leave it lying around on one of their oil platforms and then a couple of tools and steal it.
Goodbye, father.
This isn't the last you've seen of us, they seem to say as they fly off towards the horizon, which is ironic because that's absolutely the last you see of them in any of the rest of Metal Gear Solid 5's 50 missions. Sure, Eli shows up later in the series as everyone's favourite whiny fitness guy, Rocket Snake. I got all the recessive genes. So likeable, but as far as what he got up to with Psychomantis, Sahelanthropus, and a helicopter full of child soldiers, Metal Gear Solid 5 leaves us none the wiser. Turns out that had Kojima been left alone forever with infinite money like he asked, we would have found out. You see, on the Metal Gear Solid 5 Collector's Edition bonus disc, there are voice tracks, concept art, and partially completed cutscenes for a Mission 51, which shows Ben and Snake travelling to Eli's weird and fly-style island to take down him and Sahelanthropus.
You're not a kid anymore. You can call your own shots. So the big race can be done before you have a chance.
All of this would have nicely tied up Eli and Snake's story instead of leaving us with a massive cliffhanger, no resolution, and a weird craving to beat up Billy Anderson.
Still with me.
If you're not familiar with the Bad Company spin-off series, it's basically Battlefield, only your squad are a bunch of comedy misfits instead of the usual deadly serious career soldiers. Battlefield Bad Company 2 saw the crew saving the world from a secret scalar weapon, held by a rogue Russian army colonel, which is designed to take out the US power grid. Because presumably he thinks that America is only 3 days without the atom television away from a full-blown revolution. Against all the odds, Bad Company managed to kill faster than planned by first shooting the super weapon, and then shooting Kirilenko. Anyone got any other problems that need shooting? Solving? Conveniently, the squad land in friendly Texas and start planning their celebratory trip to what I can only assume is an entirely family-friendly dance review.
Well, now we need to party, and I know an establishment you're gonna love.
Unfortunately, before they can phone to make a reservation, the actual non-Campbell army turn up with a surprise revelation.
Why, sir? The Russians. They're invading.
Yes, the Russians are invading US soil in a historic act of aggression and a final ignition of the long-dormant Cold War. That sounds like it was exciting to play, doesn't it? Full-scale invasion of America, valiantly defending the White House at the end.
Based on a popular comic book, The Darkness 2 continues the adventures of Jackie Ricardo, the world's only goth mafia boss. Jackie is host to a power known as the Darkness, which gives him a host of divine powers that he can use only in the dark. Mostly, these involve heart-eating tentacles, which, as you can imagine, are quite a boon for the head of a crime family. Saves you a fortune in heart disposal bills. Anyway, by the end of The Darkness 2, Jackie finds himself in hell, in front of his girlfriend Jenny, who died in the first game. Jackie manages to free her from her imprisonment, but as soon as he does so, she is taken over by a being known as the Angelus, a counterpart to The Darkness, designed
The Angelus.
Rising out of hell, the Angelus then informs Jackie she is now trapped in hell forever, and she's off to do, well, something, but judging by that outfit and those horns, it probably isn't good.
You have become too powerful a host, caused too much suffering. You and it are now where you belong.
You're probably thinking, we'll have to fight our way out of hell, find out what the Angelus has been up to, and then take her down in an epic confrontation, fraught with emotional moments, as Jenny tries to break free from her control. You're probably also thinking, hang on, there isn't a Darkness 3, and you're absolutely right, because this is the last we've seen of the series since 2012, and it's not looking like that is going to change anytime in the near future. Wow! Sucks to be, Jackie. Stuck in hell forever. With that hair? Where are you going to get a conditioner down there, man?
May 10th, 2010. I'm about to step through a gate into another time. Or maybe it's another world. I'm being sent in with other members of TRAP. Our mission is to rescue 1,300 survivors and collect data.
I think that's where I'm gonna wrap up for this video. Yeah, keep it just under 40 minutes, under 50 minutes.
Never got 47 movie adaptations by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah, let's open up some booster packs real quick.
In the second round, heroes with Dean and Dylan end up trapped in the past, which is a hassle for them, partly because there's nowhere for either of them to get the hair dye they like, and partly because it's absolutely cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun with this. Okay, I don't have any packs right now.
By the end of the game, Regina and Dylan have managed to activate the time gate they need to return to their own time, but wouldn't you know it, Dylan's daughter Paula has been trapped by some falling equipment and is unable to move. Refusing to leave his daughter,
Yeah, I can't afford anything.
Travel through the gate alone and find a way to return to save both him and Paula.
Wow, I have 275 or 1275. I'm not saying that right. I've got 1,200.
Sequel right there, so imagine our confusion on loading up Dino Crisis
12,275. So I'm literally like
literally never mentioned. Even a mention in passing
halfway from getting those.
Okay. Like, oh man,
that when bundle.
Dinosaur,
I actually don't care about the full arts.
Passed down to us here in the future. Oh, thanks, man. You really just Reginaed me. You got writers Capcom, didn't work for you.
I think I'm gonna save my loot for pets. But wait till they have some better pets. I don't like the fucking what they've got for options.
Alright everyone, thanks for watching this video about cliffhanger endings that will never be resolved. You can watch another video from us up here, or something from Outside Extra down here, or if you want to subscribe, you can click on the subscribe ball right here. Oh no! I'm fallen! I'm so hurt.
I don't know if I want to buy sleeves. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep saving for a pet. But yeah, let's wrap this up. I don't know, like, comment, subscribe, share. I don't know. It's more interesting about the gameplay. If that's what interests you, yeah. But until next time, I've been Mizu, Alex P. Mizu to be exact.